I thought I was getting free food, until he said my name. My name is Thomas Hurley, and for the past 2 years I've worked the late shift at a Burger King. It's not the kind of job people dream about, but it pays the bills. My shift runs from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., and honestly, I don't mind it. I've always been more awake at night anyway. Most nights are the same. Quiet, slow, a few random cars, some regulars, and long stretches of nothing. That's why I remember the first time it happened. It was sometime after midnight. I was working the drive-thru alone, like usual. A car pulled up to the speaker. A man's voice came through. Calm, normal, nothing special. He ordered a large double Whopper with cheese meal and a Coke, standard. When he pulled up to the first window, something felt off. His windows were heavily tinted, and he only rolled it down a tiny bit, just enough to slide his card out. I couldn't see his face at all. I ran the payment, handed the card back, gave him the receipt, and then he drove off. Didn't stop at the second window, didn't take the food, just left. I stood there holding his order, waiting for him to circle back. Sometimes people forget, sometimes they mess up, but he never came back. After about 10 minutes I gave up. The food was just sitting there, already paid for. Later that night, I ate it myself. Free meal. Weird situation, but not scary. At least not yet. About a week later, it happened again. Same time of night. Same exact order. Same situation. Tinted windows, barely opened, paid, and then drove off. That's when I started thinking it was strange. Not scary, just strange. I even joked to myself that maybe someone out there just liked wasting money. By the third time, I knew it was the same person, same voice, same order, same behavior, and I'm not going to lie. I started looking forward to it. Every 4 or 5 days, sometime between 1 and 3 a.m., he'd show up, order the same meal, pay, leave, and I'd get dinner. It became this weird routine, like I had some anonymous guy out there buying me food for no reason. Then one night, everything changed. It was around 2 a.m. when I heard his voice again through the speaker. I already knew the order before he said it. Large double Whopper with cheese meal, Coke. But this time, he added something. I hope you've been enjoying those meals, Mr. Hurley. I froze. My last name is Hurley. There is no way he should know that. I don't wear a name tag with my last name. It's not on any receipt. It's not visible anywhere. There is no reason a random customer should know it. I didn't even respond at first. My brain just stopped. Then I grabbed the headset and started asking questions. Who is this? How do you know my name? Hello? Who is this? I must have repeated myself 5 times. No answer, just silence. Then I heard his engine revel, and he drove off. This time he didn't even come to the window. I felt sick for the rest of my shift. That uneasy feeling wouldn't go away. Something wasn't right anymore. This wasn't random. This was targeted. When I got home that morning, things got worse. There was a note on my doorstep. Just a single piece of paper, handwritten. I know what you did. You have 3 days. My hands started shaking as I read it. I stood there for a long time, just staring at those words, trying to make sense of them. What did I do? Nothing came to mind. I'm not involved in anything shady. I don't have enemies. I go to work, come home, play games, sleep, repeat. I'm not that interesting. But someone clearly thought otherwise. I didn't sleep that day. I sat on my couch with the lights on, just waiting, expecting something to happen. Nothing did. The next night, I went back to work. And of course, he came back. This time, he didn't order food. He didn't even pretend. As soon as I answered the speaker, he said, "Write this down." Before I could respond, he gave me an address, some random location outside of town. I didn't recognize it. Then he said, "You have 2 days to bring me $10,000. 10,000. I almost laughed. I thought it had to be a joke, a prank, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. He drove off immediately after. That fear came back stronger than before. There was no way I could get that kind of money, and even if I could, why would I give it to him? So I ignored it. I told myself it wasn't real, that it would stop. It didn't. 3 days later, I was at home, sitting on my couch watching TV, trying to relax. Then, glass shattered, loud, sudden. I dropped to the floor instantly, heart racing, thinking someone had broken in. When I looked up, my window was smashed. A rock had been thrown through it. I ran outside, but whoever did it was gone. That's when I finally called the police. I told them everything, the drive-through, the orders, the note, the address, the demand for money. They took it seriously, but not seriously enough. They said they'd keep an eye on things. Without evidence, there wasn't much they could do. No cameras, no footage, no suspect, just my story. That was 3 days ago. I haven't gone back to work since. I called in sick, hoping maybe staying home would help, but it doesn't matter, because whoever this guy is, he knows where I live, and I still don't know what he thinks I did, or what happens next. I should have kept driving, but stopping that night might have saved my life. I drive for Uber and Uber Eats most nights. It's not my dream job, but it pays something while I figure life out. I usually work weekends from around 9 p.m. until 2 or 3 in the morning. That's when the money is best and the city is still alive. That night started like any other. It was a Saturday, around 1:30 a.m., and I was getting ready to log off. I was tired, and the crowd downtown was starting to slow down. Just as I was about to turn off the app, one last request popped up. The pickup was close. The drop-off, not so much. It was way outside the city, past the suburbs, almost in the middle of nowhere. Normally I would have declined it, but the pay was too good to ignore, so I accepted. The passenger was a young woman, probably early 20s. She seemed completely normal, no strange behavior, no weird conversation, just another late-night ride home. The drive took about 40 minutes. Streetlights slowly disappeared the farther we went. Houses became fewer. Roads got darker. When I dropped her off, it was quiet. No other cars, no movement, just one dim porch light on her house. She thanked me, got out, and that was it. Now I was alone, 40 minutes away from the city, in total darkness. I turned my car around and started heading back. At first everything felt normal, just a quiet drive, empty road, trees on both sides. Then about 10 minutes in, I saw something ahead. A car stopped in the middle of the road, hazard lights blinking. As I got closer, I noticed 2 people standing in front of it, waving their arms, trying to get my attention. My first instinct was to keep going. Something about it didn't feel right, but then I thought, what if they really needed help? So I slowed down. I didn't pull up right next to them. I stopped about 20 feet away and cracked my window just a little, enough to talk, but not enough for anyone to reach inside. It was a middle-aged couple, a man and a woman. The woman stepped forward quickly. She looked nervous, almost too nervous. "Thank God you stopped," she said. Her voice was shaky, but something about it felt off. Like she had said the same thing before, like she was following a script. She told me there was a collapsed bridge up ahead, said it had happened earlier that day. She pointed down the road into the darkness. "If you keep going, you're going to drive straight into the river." That got my attention. I asked what I should do instead. Before she could answer, the man spoke. "There's a turnoff about a mile back," he said. "A dirt road through the woods. It'll take longer, but it connects back to the highway." He pointed behind me. I thanked them. Everything they said sounded believable, but something still didn't sit right with me. I couldn't explain it. Nothing obvious, just a feeling in my gut. So I drove off, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to take that road. I kept driving forward instead. A minute later, I passed the turnoff they mentioned. It was exactly how they described it. A narrow dirt path leading into thick woods. No lights, no signs, just darkness. It looked wrong, like a place you don't go at night. I kept going. A few minutes later, I reached the bridge. I slowed down, heart beating a little faster, but the bridge was completely fine. No damage, no collapse, nothing. I drove across it without any problem, and just like that, their story fell apart. They lied. I didn't know why, but I knew one thing for sure. If I had listened to them, I would have ended up alone on that dirt road in the middle of the woods, and something tells me that was exactly the plan. I didn't sleep well that night. My mind kept replaying it, the way the woman talked, the way the man barely spoke. I went back. This time it was the middle of the day. Bright sunlight, clear sky. It felt safer, less insane. I followed the same route, same road, same direction. When I got to the spot where I saw them, nothing was there. No car, no people, just an empty road. I kept driving until I reached the dirt path. But this time, something was different. There was a sign nailed to a tree at the entrance, "Dead End." I sat there staring at it. That sign was not there before. I know it wasn't. Even in the dark, I would have noticed it. Someone had put it up recently. My stomach tightened. I parked my car on the side of the road. For a minute I just sat there, looking at the path. In daylight, it didn't look as scary. Just a narrow road surrounded by trees. Quiet, too quiet. I thought about driving down it, but my car wasn't great on rough roads. I didn't want to risk getting stuck, so I decided to walk. I stepped out of the car. The air felt different, still, heavy. I walked a few steps toward the path, then stopped. Something felt wrong again. That same gut feeling, stronger this time. I stood there, trying to see deeper into the woods, but the trees were thick, shadows everywhere. I suddenly didn't feel as brave anymore. Forget it, I said to myself. I turned around, started walking back to my car, and that's when I heard it. A scream. Loud, sharp, terrifying. A woman's scream. It came from deep inside the woods. Not close, but not far enough. My body reacted before my brain could. I ran. I jumped into my car, slammed the door, and drove off as fast as I could. I didn't look back. I didn't stop. I just drove. I don't know what was in those woods. I don't know who that couple really was, but I'm certain about one thing. They weren't trying to help me, and if I had taken that road that night, I don't think I'd be here talking about it now. It's been a couple of weeks since that day. I haven't gone back. I don't plan to, but I still think about that scream, and sometimes, late at night when I'm driving, I wonder how many other people didn't trust their gut, and how many did. The cameras showed nothing, but I wasn't alone in that warehouse. I used to work overnight security at a warehouse complex on the edge of the city. The shift was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., and I was always the only one there. Just me, a small office, and a wall of security monitors. Most nights were painfully quiet. I'd do a patrol, sit and watch the cameras, then repeat every hour. It was boring, but safe. At least that's what I thought. The night everything changed. It started like any other. It was winter. Snow was falling lightly, just enough to coat the ground. I did my first patrol around midnight, checked the gates, the loading docks, the perimeter. Everything was locked, nothing out of place. By 1:30 a.m., I was back in the office, half focused on the monitors. That's when I got the first motion alert. It came from one of the loading dock cameras. Not unusual. The system was sensitive. Wind, snow, even small animals could trigger it. I pulled up the feed. Nothing. Just an empty dock under bright floodlights. Snow drifting slowly across the ground. I shrugged it off, but then it happened again, and again. Every 10 to 15 minutes, the same camera triggered. Each time I checked. Each time, nothing, but something started to bother me. The motion always seemed to happen right at the edge of the frame, like something was there, just out of view. By 2:30 a.m., I had gotten at least 6 alerts from that same camera. No other cameras, just that one. That's when I decided to check it myself. I grabbed my flashlight and went outside. The air was freezing. The snow had mostly stopped, leaving a thin layer on the ground. I walked the entire loading dock area slowly, scanning everything. The doors were locked, no signs of forced entry, and the snow, undisturbed, no footprints, except mine. I stood there for a moment, listening. Nothing, no movement, no sound, just silence. I went back inside, trying to convince myself it was nothing. About 20 minutes later I heard it, a metallic scraping sound, loud, like something heavy being dragged across concrete. It came from inside the warehouse. I froze, then I rushed to the monitors and pulled up the interior cameras. 6 different angles. Every single one showed empty aisles. No movement, no person, nothing. I told myself it had to be something shifting, maybe temperature changes, maybe equipment settling, but deep down, I didn't believe that. An hour passed, then it happened again. The same dragging sound, but louder this time, followed by a sharp bang, like metal hitting a door. I jumped, immediately went back to the cameras. Camera 1, clear. Camera 2, clear. 3, 4, 5, nothing. Then I switched to camera 6. For a few seconds the screen went black. Static. Then it came back, but something was wrong. The angle had changed, just slightly, like someone had touched it. That was it. I couldn't stay in the office anymore. I grabbed my flashlight and radio, and headed into the warehouse. The place was massive. Rows of tall shelves stretching across a huge space. During the day, it was loud and busy. At night, it felt completely different. The lights were dimmed, casting everything in a dull yellow glow. Shadows filled the gaps between aisles. I walked slowly down the main path, my footsteps echoing. About halfway in, I heard it. Footsteps, Not mine. Somewhere to my left, maybe 2 or 3 aisles over. I stopped walking. The footsteps stopped too. Silence. Thick, heavy silence. I could hear my own breathing. I stood there, trying to listen, trying to figure out where it was coming from. Nothing. After a few seconds I spoke. "Security," I called out. "If someone's in here, come out now." My voice sounded small in that huge space. No answer. I kept moving, checking aisle after aisle. Every turn I expected to see someone, but I didn't. And that somehow made it worse, because I knew what I heard. There was someone in there with me. There had to be. I finished the patrol, every nerve in my body on edge, but I never saw anyone. When I got back to the office, I locked the door behind me. The rest of the shift was quiet, too quiet. No more sounds, no more alerts, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. At 7 a.m., my supervisor arrived. I told him everything, the motion alerts, the sounds, the camera glitch, the footsteps. He listened, but I could tell he didn't fully believe me. Maintenance did a full inspection of the building later that day. They found nothing. No forced entry, no damage, no explanation, even the camera. They said it was probably just a technical issue, but I know what I saw, and more importantly, I know what I heard. Someone was in that warehouse with me, and somehow, they got in without leaving a single trace. I quit that job not long after. Some things don't need answers, because the truth is probably worse than not knowing, and whatever was in that building that night, I don't think it wanted to be found. He didn't stop running, even when his feet were tearing apart. I used to work the night shift at a 24-hour gym during a gap year. It wasn't a hard job. Honestly, most nights were boring. The gym ran mostly on its own. People scanned in with keycards, worked out and left. I just had to watch the cameras, clean a little, and make sure nothing went wrong. The gym was in a rough part of town, but surprisingly, the regulars were normal. After a few months, I recognized almost everyone who came in late at night. That's why I noticed him immediately. It was around 2 a.m. I had already finished my cleaning and was sitting in the office watching the security screens. There were only a couple of people in the building earlier, but by then it was just me and one other person. A man on a treadmill in the far corner. At first nothing seemed too strange. People run at night all the time, but something about him caught my attention. So I pulled up his treadmill stats on the system. Speed, 9 miles per hour. That's fast, but not impossible. What bothered me was how long he had been running. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. No change in speed, no break, no slowing down. I leaned closer to the screen. The camera quality wasn't perfect, but I could see enough to feel uneasy. He looked off. His clothes were dirty, almost torn. His hair was long and messy, hanging over parts of his face, and his posture completely stiff. No natural movement, just running. I kept watching. Another 5 minutes passed. Still 9 miles per hour, still no change. Then I noticed something else. He wasn't wearing shoes, barefoot, running that fast, for that long, barefoot. That didn't make sense. At that point, I decided I had to say something. There was a strict rule about wearing proper footwear anyway. That gave me a reason to approach him. I took a deep breath and stepped out of the office. The gym felt different at night. The hum of machines, the low lighting, the empty space, it all made small things feel bigger. The treadmill he was on was right near the employee hallway. As I walked closer, I heard it. A wet, rhythmic sound, not just footsteps, something heavier, something wrong. Then I turned the corner, and I saw it. Blood. The treadmill belt was covered in it. His feet, if you could even call them that anymore, were torn up. Skin split open, blood pooling and splattering with every step he took. But he didn't react. No limp, no hesitation. He just kept running, face forward, mouth slightly open, eyes locked ahead like he wasn't even there. My stomach dropped. I froze for a second, trying to process what I was seeing. Then I forced myself to speak. "Hey, you need to stop. You're hurt." He didn't respond, didn't even look at me, just kept running. The sound of his feet hitting the belt, I can still hear it. I raised my voice. "Hey, stop the treadmill. You're bleeding." That's when he spoke, but he didn't answer my question. In a low, raspy voice, he said, "Are you there?" I felt a chill go through me. "What?" I said. "You need to stop. Are you there?" Same tone. flat, emotionless. He still hadn't looked at me. I took a step back. Something was very wrong. "Listen," I said, trying to stay calm. "You need help. I'm going to call. Are you there?" Again, exactly the same, like a broken recording. At that point, I didn't feel safe anymore. I slowly backed away and returned to the office. My hands were shaking as I reached for my phone. But before I called anyone, I looked at the monitors again, and my heart stopped. He was looking directly into the camera, still running, still bleeding, but now his face was turned, staring straight at me through the screen. His mouth was open wider now, too wide. I quickly looked away from the monitor, and then I heard it. A scream, loud, deep, not words, just raw sound. It came from outside the office. I snapped my head back to the screens. The treadmill was empty. He was gone. I started flipping through the camera feeds. Front entrance, empty. Wait area, empty. Locker rooms, empty. Where did he go? There was only one camera left. The employee hallway. The hallway that led directly to my office. I clicked it, and there he was, standing in the hallway, about 6 feet from my door, completely still, just staring. I didn't even think. I lunged forward and locked the office door. 5 seconds later, the handle started shaking, hard, violent. He started screaming again, that same horrible deep scream. I backed away into the corner of the room and finally called 911. I could barely speak. "There's a man. He's trying to get in. He's bleeding. He's not right." The dispatcher told me to stay calm. Police were on the way. 5 minutes, they said. It felt like forever. The door kept shaking. The screaming didn't stop. It didn't sound human anymore. Just noise. Loud, constant, aggressive. I kept watching the hallway camera. He was right there, right outside, sometimes still, sometimes pulling at the door, always staring. Then suddenly, it stopped. The screaming, the movement, everything, silence. I waited. A few seconds. Then I checked the camera again. He was gone. Just gone. No sound. No footsteps. Nothing. I checked every camera. Every single one. He wasn't anywhere. It was like he disappeared. A few minutes later, the police arrived. I didn't open the door until they were right outside. They searched the entire building, locker rooms, storage areas, every corner. Nothing. No sign of him. No blood trail leading out. Nothing. The treadmill, though, still running, covered in blood. I gave my statement, but I could tell they didn't fully understand what I was trying to explain. Or maybe they didn't believe me. I didn't care. I quit the next day, never went back, and I still think about one thing. When he was standing outside that door, if I hadn't locked it in time, I don't think he would have stopped.